Hi, Flosstube. Welcome back. It's Kara, one half of the Granite State Stitchers, and it is Sunday, July 30th. One more day of July. Can you believe that? It's crazy how the summer is flying by. I apologize if there's too much light. I have my slider right here, and it has been overcast, but it looks like the sun is trying to peek through, so I hope that's not um, causing too much of a glare. But so anyway, welcome. Welcome back if you are a subscriber, and welcome if you are a new person and you just happen to find me. I hope you like what you see and that you stick around. So, how was everyone's week? Mine was just busy doing work. It's funny, people think that tax season ends April 15th, but it goes It goes right up until October 15th, because people are on extension and the business returns are on extension until September 15th, and then the personal ones are on extension until October 15th. So it continues, and then I get a small lull after the October 15th deadline, and then it's right into year-end tax planning. So it's basically year round. Um, but it's just funny when people ask me, oh, well, don't you get the summer off? It's like, I wish. No, I don't. So, but it is a nice day here today. It has cooled off a lot. We've been just like everybody else in the rest of the country with heat warnings, heat advisory warnings, and temperatures have been in the 90s, and it's so humid. We get so much humidity here in New Hampshire, and I know that it's crazy across the country. My daughter, as you know, lives in Oklahoma, and she said that this week either they had a microburst or the a cell formation of where a tornado was starting to form. It didn't hit her end of town, but it did hit the base. And 39 out of 50 planes were damaged because the planes were just blown into each other. So they had to bring in planes from other bases because her class needed to finish up their flight hours because she's graduating next week or this coming week. So she says it was really, hectic with the timetable that they had to work with and getting those extra planes in. But she will be graduating on Friday, and I'll be heading to Oklahoma for that. So other than that, no finishes, no finishes to show you. I'm very, very disappointed in myself that I did not get my sweet home finished because I really wanted to, because that was a July boot camp. That's the one I had started for July boot camp with Colorado Cross Stitcher. And there was also a sale going on with the Cornhusker State Stitchers, since that was created for their Etsy shop by My Sweet Wings Studios. So you can see my dog over here in the background. One of them, I have 4 dogs, all rescues, and hopefully they won't start barking during this video because I still have yet to learn how to edit. So if they, and it's only one will get going, and then she gets the little Pomeranian going, and Foxy doesn't even know what she's barking at. She's just barking because Marley's barking. But anyway, so hopefully they behave themselves. So let's get into whips. I actually was able to spend some time this week, even though I was busy. I made a point of getting stitches into most of my whips. I was aiming to get them done, stitches into all of them, but that didn't happen. So the first one up is Dog Sampler by Imaginating Ink. And this is a kit. This came kitted. I believe it's an 18 count ivory. And the threads were already included. And I actually, you can tell it's a dog. Isn't he cute? Little Scotty dog wearing a little sweater. Um, but yeah, I actually got one of the dogs finished. So that was good. That's so cute. That was fun to stitch. Although I have to say, I wasn't paying attention. That's what happens when you're watching Flosstube while you're stitching, right? And see where all these raspberry colored blocks are? I wasn't paying attention and I stitched those black. And after I was done, I was looking at it and I'm like, that doesn't make sense that the sweater would be the same color as the dog. So I had to rip those all out. Stupid. I have a question for you since I'm relatively new getting back to cross stitching. Why do they call it frogging when you have to rip your stitches out? I just call it ripping the stitches out. But using the floss tube or the stitching lingo, why is it called frogging? Just curious if anybody has an answer to that, knows the reason behind that. So that's one. And next up is, let me get out of the bag here. Oh, letters from Nora, letter A, and this is Nora Corbett. And this one is being done on 32 count water lily with the called for flosses, and the flosses are color and cotton. I think there's a few weeks dye works in there, and there's definitely some Krynic. But remember last week I had that little sticky note to myself, need to find oh, what was it? There was a certain floss color I needed to find. It was in a different pattern. I found it. So I was able to get the outline of the A. Fold this so I can see. So hickory stick, that was what it was. So this is all hickory stick, the outline of the A. So I got the top part of the A done. So that's good progress on that. I can't decide though whether or not I should just finish doing all the A first and then start on the fairy, or should I just do it as it comes along? I'm thinking maybe I'll just do all the A first because the fairy has a lot of the Krynic, and I think there's beads. Yes, there are. There's beads too. So it's going to be so pretty. I'm doing this for Allie, who I will get to see this coming week. So excited. She's been off visiting her other set of grandparents. I told you that too, that my daughter was juggling the babysitting act while she was finishing up all her flight hours because she had to do night flying, she had to do weekend flying cross country, so she had a lot on her plate. And then next up is United in Love. These are hearts. And doing this one right here on the back. And let's see, my needle's up there. Okay, so I actually got, I think I had maybe 4 hearts that went across and then started down this side. So I just had to finish up this side and then all the hearts are here. Um, see what I mean? Marley's barking and Foxy joins in. And she barks at anything. That was a truck across the street and she starts barking. But you know what I realized, and I don't know why it just dawned on me, and maybe I just had never really paid attention or looked at the pattern that closely, or now I am because I'm trying to get this finished. But I'm thinking, oh, that's great. You know, these hearts are going to be nice and easy just around the border. Well, if you look, then I have to go through and I have to fill them in. They're solid. I don't know why I didn't realize that before. Off in another world. Off in another world, I guess. But so that was that one. Hello, Maddie. And then the last one that I put some stitchy time in on was My Home Sweet Home by Sweet Wing Studio. And this I am stitching on 32 count Belfast by Color and Cotton, and the colorway is Apparition, which I like. And I really like the feel of this fabric too. So I know it may not look like a lot, but I got some Blue of the Flag started. So again, I'll stitch on this some more tonight and tomorrow, and then that will be the end of July. And I'll put this away because then August boot camp will be starting up. And I am just disappointed that I didn't get more accomplished on this. But that's okay. It will happen. I see now how easy it is to end up with all these projects that you're working on and you end up having 100 whips. Okay, so those are the patterns that I worked on. Those are my whips. Now, starting this week for August, oh, I don't know what that here is. August is my birthday month. So I had put out there what I should do for my birthday start. And I am going with which probably won't surprise you guys since you know how chicken I am just to do the 40 count patterns. And a forest grew. So that is going to be my birthday month start. And I'm actually very excited. I don't know if I'm going to bring this to Oklahoma with me because it's a big pattern and there is a lot of floss. I have all the floss, but it's I think I counted it and it was like 70 something different colors. And I mean, I definitely put it in a big project bag, but I'm trying to take as little with me as possible on the plane. I'm only doing carry-on, and with all that floss and stuff, this will be kind of bulky. And I really don't know how much I would even get accomplished because, like I said, my daughter's going to have stuff going on. We're going to be over on base one day for a tour. It's family day, and then the next day is her graduation, and there is a formal ball one night. So I know I'm going to be babysitting Allie. So I don't even know if I'm going to have time to start this. I would like to start it, but maybe after Allie goes to bed one night, I'll have to think about it. Think about whether I'm going to bring this or not. So, and what I decided to do for August boot camp is the requirement is to work on something that is new to you. So it can be a new designer, a new fabric count, a new floss. Just those are the only requirements, something that's new to you. So I pulled out Caterpillar Cross Stitch. She's a UK company, Sally, and this is the pattern, Hello Pumpkin. Isn't that adorable? And what I love about this, I saw Erin to Martini Stitcher stitch this, and what caught my eye is that it has the usual autumn colors, you know, your oranges and your browns, but she added teal. Like this is teal, and you see teal throughout the tree. And I was thinking that is really pretty because I'm a teal person. Terry, I know that you're not, but so, and I know that she did a whole series. She did Hello Pumpkin for autumn. She did Hello Deer for winter, and it was a deer standing under the tree and presents and stuff. And then she did spring and summer. I don't know what those patterns are. So this will come with me to Oklahoma. This is on, I'm sure it's, yeah, it says Wygar Ada fabric. So I'm sure it's probably either, let's see if it says, ooh, look at, that's pretty. Here's the floss palette, all stitched up, all prepared. Oh yeah, this looks like a 16 count Ada maybe. So anyway, that'll come with me to Oklahoma. This should be easy to stitch on the plane. The other one I'm definitely taking to Oklahoma with me, of course, is United in Love, since I need to have that finished by my son's wedding in October. And that's 18 count Ada, so that's easy to stitch on. So I will definitely have these two projects with me, you know, for the plane, the airport, and then maybe, and a 4 screw. So we'll see. So haul. I didn't really do haul last week because the video was long enough with the whip parade. So I got in my first edition of Punch Needle. Love this. Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen this magazine, it's fabulous. The patterns in here are so cute. And here's some more on the back. It makes me want to learn how to do punch needle. It really does. But a lot of these are cross stitch patterns too, so you get free patterns of both. You know, this one's Teresa Colgert. This one I'm definitely doing. What's this called? Oh, it's just called Summer Sampler. But it's by Nerd on Canbar, Twin Peak Primitive, which is one of my favorite designers. So I'm definitely going to do that one. And if you get the actual hard copy subscription, you have access to go online and you can see all the back subscriptions, and you can download the PDFs of those. So that will be cool. I can't wait to do that. I got an order in from 123 Stitch, 32 count vintage Stormy Night Lugana. And it had been on back order for something. I love vintage Stormy Night. So pretty. But you know, typical me, I ordered it and I can't remember which pattern I ordered it for. Does anybody else do that? I've tried to get better. I actually will now leave the list of what I ordered on my computer until the order comes in, and then I know which pattern it goes to. But before I started doing that, I would get orders in like Floss. Oh, what I ordered this for? Or what I ordered this linen for? I ordered Floss twice for oh, I can't even think of it. But anyway, one of the Teresa Kogert's patterns, I ordered the Floss twice and it came in. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I order this twice? Because I'm dumb and I didn't remember that I already ordered it. And there was another one too that I ordered that Floss twice. So then I got my monthly, I belong to the Color and Cotton Thread Club. And here's July. And let me take these out. And I love the names of these because it makes me think of New England. Well, maybe that one doesn't. But anyway. Whoops. I don't know if this is getting blown out by the light. Oh, look at those. Look at this one. This one is called Coastline. Absolutely apropos for where I live because I live on the seacoast, New Hampshire. Then we got Blue Spruce. And this one is Barrel Cactus. Doesn't pertain to New Hampshire. Mesquite. That's a nice one. And what's this? Sargasso Sea. I don't know, but aren't those nice? They're nice muted colors. So I always find a use for them. And then I got, actually I had these in, but I forgot to show them in my kitted parade. But this is, and I ordered these from Al Forest Embroidery. So I haven't opened up these boxes, so I'm going to do that now. And I'm kidding. Okay, so this one is Train Station. And I'm sorry, the picture, I don't have a bigger picture, but I think you can see that. And I got this because my father was a huge train enthusiast. I mean, growing up, the whole basement was a train room. And he made holes in the walls and he had multiple trains going on multiple tracks and they would go through the walls into the next room and he'd have train stations set up throughout the basement. It was amazing. And when he passed away, all of his train stuff ended up in my basement. It's not set up the way that he has it, but it's all boxed up. I have his engineer cap. He actually worked on a train for quite a while. If you are from New England and from New Hampshire, we have what is called the Conway Scenic Railroad. It's up in North Conway, New Hampshire. And my father was one of the co-founders of that. Growing up, my sister and I would help my father. I mean, that train station had been abandoned for I don't know how long. And there were volunteers that were fixing up the train station, painting it inside and out. And my sister and I got to help with clearing brush, which wasn't very interesting. But the fun part was that we were on a putt-putt car. And that's like the handheld, and you push down on one end and just like a seesaw. But we called it the putt-putt car because that was the only way that you could get down the rails because even the tracks themselves were being repaired and replaced. And so we would go on the putt-putt car, and while the men, including my father, were laying down new rails, which was quite an ordeal because you had to like dig under the track and dig pull out the old rotted rails and then slide the new ones under. So while they were doing that, we were clearing brush. So that's how I spent my summers. I think maybe 3 summers growing up in New Hampshire. Well, once we'd moved here from Maine. But anyway, so that's why I got the train station. And oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, so there's a bag of floss. Look at that. Sorry for the glare. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And this is their own hand-dyed floss. And look at, they're wrapped on these little cardboard bobbins. But look at that. With the symbol up at the top. Those are adorable, those little mini skeins. Oh, and it comes with a needle minder with a needle. There's a needle on there. Wow. And instructions. Oh, just like on how to do some of the certain stitches, both in Russian and in English. Very good. It comes with the fabric. Ooh. And then the chart. Wow, this is a big chart. I won't unfold this. That's a huge chart. So I have heard from other people who have gotten Alforce embroidery kits that the fabric is tight, that the design just fits with not much border on each side. So I'll definitely have to measure this out to make sure, because that would be awful to start this and then realize that, oh no, I'm short on this end. That's very cute. So the next one I got was it's bumblebees, it's bees, but I don't remember the exact, oh, golden bees, I think it's called, golden bees. And look at that. Now, I did come across an Alforce embroidery Facebook page, and somebody had just finished this one. And I've seen other bee, golden bee patterns that were finished, and they're in a black frame or a white frame or whatever. This person put it in a yellow frame, and oh my God, it was beautiful. It was beautiful because it really brought out the yellows in the pattern. And I saw that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it in a yellow frame. It was gorgeous. So what does this box have in it? Oh, so there are the flosses for this one. And look, you can see the gold and the yellows. Oh my gosh, and a cute little, it's a bee needle minder. Can you see that? How cute. With a needle on it. How cute. I didn't realize that these came with a needle minder. It's so adorable. Okay, and then again, the fabric. Oh, this is a different colored fabric. It's more like a beige rather than a cream. And then the pattern. Cool. Very cool. Can't wait to start on both of those. Okay, so the rest of my haul has to do with quilting. And I haven't really talked much about quilting on this channel, but I do quilt. I should say I dabble. I dabble in quilting. I first started, I mean, I've sewn my whole life. Ever since I was probably like 9 or 10 is when I started sewing. And so a friend of mine 3 years ago asked me if I wanted to go to a quilting retreat with her. And I had no clue. She's like, "Oh, come on, it's just sewing, you'll learn how to quilt." And so I was like, "Okay, I'll go." And had no clue what to expect or what to bring or do anything. And I decided that I was going to get a brand new sewing machine because the one that I had, just I'd had it, I think, my whole life. And the tension was off. It really just needed to be reconditioned. It was time for a tune up for that old girl. And so I figured I'll just buy a new sewing machine. That way I don't have to deal with this one. And that was it. I brought my sewing machine, my sewing box, and okay, let's go quilt. Well, the sewing machine didn't work, or it worked, but it was, I don't know if it was the bobbin housing or something was loose or it wasn't put together correctly in the machine. So you used it and it was like, rum, 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 rum. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it made the loudest noise. And everybody else is using like these nice, quiet machines. And of course, mine's just like making all the noise in the world. And the person running the retreat came over and she actually knows like how to take sewing machines apart, put them back together. So she worked on it. She got it quieted down a little bit, but it was still making a lot of noise. So, and then my friend didn't tell me that I was supposed to bring something to work on. I figured, well, they'll just provide stuff at the retreat, right? So I had nothing. I had nothing. So thankfully, there was a stash room, like she set up a little shop. She owns a business, and she had brought up a bunch of books and threads and materials and everything. So I went in, got a book, decided to do a table runner, just made out of squares. Well, they were 2.5 inch squares and 1.5 inch squares. I spent the whole retreat, and I'm not kidding, because there was probably like 400 of these that I needed. I think I spent the whole retreat just cutting out the material. I didn't do a darn bit of sewing. Um, Other than I think I did start something. That's how we discovered that the sewing machine was a beast. Everybody's, putting together these beautiful quilt blocks. I didn't do anything. So I came home, didn't do anything with that machine because I was so disgusted with it. Kept everything, all my cut squares in a baggie inside the sewing machine, carry all. And next year, went back again. And same sewing machine, same project that I hadn't even started, but this time, at least I got the majority of the squares all sewn together. And then this year for the retreat, I was like, no, I'm not taking that back with me again. And I got a brand new Janome, ditched that other machine, got a new Janome, brought various projects with me to work on, and I actually finished. It's a quilt, but you can use it as a wall hanging too. I just need to sew the binding, and I will show that to you. That's going to be a home uh, housewarming gift for my son and future daughter-in-law because they just bought a house. They just moved in. So I was so happy with myself, but I did a lot of the prep work ahead of time because now I knew the routine, what to do. So I had all my squares. I had everything cut out for a couple of different patterns because I didn't know what I would go through because this was a week-long retreat. This time we went up for a week. So I wanted to make sure I had plenty of stuff to work on. But I spent the whole time just working on that, and I'm so happy it came out so nice. So anyway, this is what I got for haul that pertains to quilting. So I signed up for a Block of the Month club, and this is called Magnolia by Sherry and Chelsea. And that's what the block looks like. And this is what the fabric looks like. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I can't wait. Can't wait. Have I done block 1 yet? But I will. All right, so then this one is another block of the month, and this is called the Zephyr quilt, and this is I was enabled by Cornhusker State Stitchers, Terry and Jamie, to do this one, and this is the second block for this one. And look at that! Isn't that awesome? And I don't know if you can see all the fabrics that came with this. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then I got my July order from Fat Quarter Shop, and I had to look twice. I'm like, why is this holiday? And then it says July 2023, and I'm like, oh, it must be for Jolly July. And it's called Reindeer Games. And this is the fabric patterns that are in here. Hopefully you can see that. But look, aren't those gorgeous? So I will definitely be ready for Christmas. I would like to put together some Christmas stuff this year. And then I got I'm also subscribed to a Jelly Roll Club. I went all in this year. I want to do some more clubs too. So we'll see how I make out with these. I got to get my sewing room finished, people. Okay, so that's All right, so June. June is called Christmas Eve. Wow. And I'll scroll through these. I'm sorry, they're still in plastic, but I don't want to take them out of the plastic since I don't have any place to put them. But look at all those greens and reds and creams. Perfect. And that's from Fat Quarter Shop too. And July came in, and this is called Berry Basket. And these are so cute too, very, very colorful. So if you can see all those. Nice. Perfect. All right. So that's all. And I think that's about it for this week. Plans, I'm leaving Tuesday to head to Oklahoma. So I will be there from Tuesday to Sunday, then I'll head back. So we'll do a quick video while I'm out there because I'm sure that Allie is chomping at the bit to get back into another video. We'll see how much progress she has made on her Pokemon cross stitch. I did send her some more black floss because I knew she was going to be running out. And that's it. And I told you what I'm going to be bringing with me to work on. Question. Okay, so I do have a question for you guys for this week. Are the Mirabilia patterns like a thing? Are they making a comeback? I don't know much about them. I was reading a little bit and I did not realize that Nora Corbett was part of Mirabilia, but I should have guessed because obviously that fairy pattern that I'm stitching for Allie, I mean that definitely looks like Mirabilia. But I've just been noticing a lot. I've just been noticing their patterns popping up a lot lately. And that's why I'm asking the question. There is one channel that I watch, it's called Fortnite Stitchers, and they do a lot of Mirabilia. I mean, they always have Mirabilia going when in their whips. And I have seen Sunshine State Stitchers do some Mirabilia. But other than that, I don't really see people doing the Mirabilia. I know that Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, got a Mirabilia pattern that she started called Autumn Sky, and that's really pretty. But this week, a Mirabilia Facebook group popped up, on Facebook, so I was scrolling through that. I mean, and granted, the patterns are beautiful. They're gorgeous. I would even call them some of the women that are, in the pattern. I mean, some are whimsical, but some of them are very stately, with their gowns and I mean, just beautiful. Um, but I've never considered myself to be a Mirabilia stitcher. I've never been interested in Mirabilia, but that's about to change. On one of the D-Stash sites on Facebook this week, or I don't know if it was D-Stash or if it was Stash Unload, there were two Mirabilia patterns, the same pattern that popped up, and I thought it was called Lady Liberty, but I believe it's called Lady of the Flag. And I just stopped. I was like, oh my gosh. You know how sometimes you come across or you see a pattern and it just calls to you and you're like, I have to get that pattern. That's this pattern. Because like I said a couple of videos ago, I'm a patriotic stitcher, but this pattern is stunning. Stunning. The thing is that it's out of print. So one person on Facebook was selling it for $300, and that was the pattern, and it included, she had evidently gotten fabric. I don't know where she got the fabric from. She did say, but it's called, the name of the fabric is We the People, and it's the Declaration of Independence imprinted on the fabric. So evidently she was going to stitch Lady of the Flag on this material, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, but $300. And then somebody else was unloading the same pattern. I think it was just the pattern, not the kit, and she was unloading it for $200. So I started looking around on eBay and Etsy, and there are a couple on eBay, but again, they're a couple $100. And I don't know if I can pull the trigger on that. I love the pattern, but I don't know, $200. I could wait, maybe it will pop up at some time. Like Sarah, the traveling stitcher, she was talking in one of her videos about how her unicorn was the Snow White pattern that had been done by Thomas Kincaid when he had collaborated with Disney back in the 90s, and he did patterns for all the princesses. And at the time, she said she can remember the pattern was being $50, and that was too much. And think about it, back in the 90s, you could probably get patterns at Ben Franklin's for what, $4.99, $5.99. So yeah, $50 to pay for a pattern was a lot of money. But now she looks on eBay and there's $700. That was a collector series, limited edition. So she waited it out, and then she found someone who, I don't know if this person was on eBay also, but she got it for $75. And the person had already started it, so, which was fine. Sarah just started it again on different fabric. So I don't know, maybe one will pop up. You never know. But that was, like I said, I don't know much about Mirabilia, so I was just wondering if that was a thing or had been a thing and it's making a comeback. Are any of you guys out there Mirabilia stitchers? Are you collectors? Do you have more than one pattern? So that's my question out to you guys. A couple of shout outs, Flosstube channels I wanted to shout out. I finally found some that are here in New England. So the first one is Two Needles Pulling Thread, Missy and Kathy, and they are located up in Maine. I think not too far from where I used to be. and they are going to be doing a retreat in the spring. So can't wait for that to be posted. Hopefully I get on the registration list, and it's right after tax season. I think it's the weekend after April 15th. So I will be ready for a retreat. The next one is New Hampshire Stitcher, Lauren. I've actually been watching her for a while, but I haven't given her a shout out yet. And she lists her location as Seacoast, New Hampshire. So I did send her a message on Instagram asking her where she's located, because that would be so nice to be able to hook up with a stitching buddy close to me, someone to stitch with, because like I mentioned in my first video, no one in my family does crafty stuff or stitch, certainly not stitching. And then the third one that I came across, and actually Missy and Kathy had shouted them out in their video, is called the BosStitchers, and that's short for Boston. These two women are from Boston, and I'm sorry I didn't write their names down, but I definitely will be watching some more of their channel. I caught a couple of their videos, and they're a riot. They're a riot, and they're everything Boston. So, and they love the Bruins. So, hey, they can join on my bandwagon any day. So that's it. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. If you are in any area that's being affected by the weather, please stay safe. It's crazy out there, this whole climate change. Um, you know, the heat across the country is ridiculous. I know that up here we've been getting the heat, but we've also been getting rain. We've never gotten so much rain. We've set a record for the amount of rainfall that we've gotten this summer. It's just crazy, and then you got California and Canada with their fires. So it just seems that no matter where you live, there's something going on. We have, as a matter of fact, the ocean water is so warm. The temperature in the ocean was measured at 89 degrees one day last week. So we have had so many shark sightings because they're coming up with the current because it's warm water. We never, we're getting fish, marine life up here that we don't usually get. We're having, I just read this week in the news that there were a couple of dolphins washed up on the beach. And the marine biologists that were, examining them said that these dolphins are only warm water dolphins. So again, for them to be this far north is very, very abnormal. So wherever you are, please stay safe. Hopefully the weather will change soon and we'll start getting more cooperative weather to deal with. But that's it for now. And we'll tune in again next week. Allie will be making an appearance. So for now, take care. Bye.